The Appalachian Mountains are the oldest in North America, a landscape older than memory itself, where ridgelines vanish into fog and silence drifts like a veil. The Appalachian Trail runs through their spine, more than 2,000 miles from Georgia to Maine. Each year, thousands set foot upon it, some wandering for only a day, others walking for months in search of its end. Hikers speak of strange sounds, restless shelters, and unseen watchers that move through the woods. Tonight, you'll hear 3 true stories whispered from the trail itself, tales of terror that linger in the mountains, waiting for those who dare to pass through after dark. Blood Mountain is the highest peak on the Appalachian Trail in Georgia and home to one of the oldest stone shelters still standing. Hikers say it doesn't just creak with age, it breathes with something else. Built in 1934 by the Civilian Conservation Corps, the Blood Mountain shelter has no electricity, no fireplace, and no comforts. Only stone walls, narrow windows, and the mountain wind pressing through the cracks. Hikers who stay the night often describe an overwhelming sense of being watched. Long after the fire dies down, when the mountain air grows still, footsteps echo across the stone floor, slow, deliberate, pacing back and forth in the dark. Some hikers wake to the sound of whispers slipping through the cracks in the rock walls. Others have seen a figure in the doorway, outlined only by moonlight, unmoving, watching. A few refuse to even step inside, claiming the air itself feels heavy, as though the mountain is holding its breath. One group reported hearing rocks tapping against the shelter walls, like knuckles knocking. When they shined their lights out the window, the fog swallowed the beam, and the knocking stopped, only to resume from the opposite side of the wall. The Blood Mountain shelter still stands, and hikers still stay inside, but many they leave quickly. Those who stayed insisted they felt as though they were watched the entire night, as if the mountain itself refuses to let them rest. The Smoky Mountains are the darkest stretch of the Appalachian Trail. Their forest canopy swallows the moonlight. The ridgelines twist like a maze, and every sound seems to travel. It's here, in the shadows of Clingman's Dome, that hikers say they are not alone. One thru hiker described it as footsteps, steady, unhurried, keeping perfect pace just beyond his headlamp's reach. Not the crashing of deer, not the skitter of smaller animals. These steps were deliberate, always at the same distance, no matter how quickly he walked. When he stopped, the footsteps stopped. When he moved again, they returned. At gunpoint, he cut his light, hoping the dark would reveal a silhouette. Instead, the forest went silent. Seconds passed. Then, directly ahead, a branch snapped. What followed was breathing, deep, slow, human, close enough to hear in the blackness. He ran the last miles to the next shelter, refusing to look back. By morning, when he shared his story, other hikers admitted to experiencing the same thing, being paced by an unseen presence, always just out of sight. In the Smokies, they say, the trail doesn't let you walk alone. Something walks with you. Devil's Fork Gap straddles the border of North Carolina and Tennessee. Its name alone carries weight, but hikers know the true fear comes from what lingers there. In the late 1970s, a solo backpacker was reported missing after setting up camp just off the gap. His tent was found, his pack still zipped. Even his stove sat ready with a pot of water on top. Never lit, never boiled. But the man himself had vanished into the trees. Search parties scoured the forest for days. No tracks, no sign of a struggle, just his belongings, undisturbed, as if he had simply risen and walked into the night. Locals whispered that Devil's Fork Gap had taken another soul, as it had before. The man was never found. Hikers today still pass that clearing, some claiming to hear soft movements in the brush, or seeing pale flickers of light darting between trees. Most don't camp there at all. They say the gap remembers, and that whatever called him into the night might be waiting still. The whispers that begin softly will only grow louder from here. Subscribe to Whispers After Midnight to never miss their call, and let them guide you deeper into the dark.